In many respects, every time we read the Passion narrative, we have to accept that the gospel in so many ways speaks for itself. This is an evening in faith in which we have accompanied Jesus as he takes his final steps of his earthly journey. These are indeed the most painful steps, because they are the steps that lead to Calvary and the cross. We heard the cries of the crowd, the words of condemnation, the insults of the soldiers, even the lamentation of his mother, the Virgin Mary, and of the other women of Jerusalem. Last night, our emphasis was on the darkness of the night. Tonight, perhaps, we can focus on the silence. We are now immersed in the silence of this night, in the silence of the cross and in the silence of death. It is a silence pregnant with the burden of pain, pain borne by a man rejected, oppressed, downtrodden, betrayed, abandoned. The burden of sin mars his face. Tonight, we have relived deep within our hearts the drama of Jesus, weighed down by pain, by evil, and by human sin. What now remains before our eyes? It is a crucified man, a cross raised on the hill of Golgotha, a cross that seems a sign of the final defeat of the one who brought light to those immersed in darkness, the one who spoke of the power of forgiveness and of mercy, the one who asked us to believe in God's infinite love. Despised and rejected by men, there stands before us a man of suffering and acquainted with infirmity, one from whom others hide their faces. Let us look more closely, though, at this man crucified between heaven and earth. Let us realize that the cross is not the victory, the banner of the victory of death, sin, and evil. It's not the final chapter. But rather, it becomes the throne upon which this King of Kings takes his seat on this side of eternity. It becomes a luminous sign of love, God's immense love, of something that we could have never asked, imagined, or expected. God bent down over us. He lowered himself, even to the darkest corner of human wretchedness, in order to stretch out his hand and draw us to himself, to bring us all the way to himself. The cross speaks to us of the supreme love of God and invites us today to renew our faith in the power of that love, to believe that in every situation of our lives, our history and our world, God is indeed able to vanquish death, sin, and evil, to give us new and risen life. In the Son of God's death on the cross, we find the seed of new hope, like the seed which dies within the earth. Brothers and sisters, all human sin, every failure, from the least to the last, all human suffering, loss, grief, and mourning, the entire cascade, the cosmic clash of original sin, the spiritual wound that was handed on, father to son, mother to daughter, all of this has come to a pendulous stop in the cross. It is true that the human family has lost its mind. We have put to death the only man who could have put it right, who did put it right. The only man in the whole course of this story who is innocent. He owes the world nothing, and yet has loved the world all the same, even this world which has rejected him, a world that hated him, a world that hung him on a tree. But he loves you. He loves me. He loves us to the end, even unto death. Though the coming of this night will be full of silence, it is filled with hope. I want to read to you in closing the words of St. Augustine. Have faith, he tells us. You will come to me and will taste the good things of my table, even as I did not hesitate to taste the evil at your table. I have promised you my own life. As a pledge of this, I have given you my death. I have given you my death as if to say, look, I am inviting you to share in my life. Lord Jesus, make us new. Make us new men, men and women of holiness transformed and enlivened by your love. Lord Jesus, draw back the gray rain curtain of doubt. Let us be worthy witnesses of the coming resurrection of Jesus Christ, he who is the light of the world and the light of all mankind. Come, Lord Jesus. Mother Mary, be a mother to us now.